guys, it's Jonah here, and welcome to another beer review. And doing this bad boy today from Magic Rock Brewing. Now, what do you reckon that says? The name of that beer, Chameleonic. Well, I was thinking Chameleonic. No, it's Chameleonic. Absolutely crazy name. DDH IPA. And that stands for Double Dry Hopped IPA, India Pale Ale. 6% on the ABV. It's a pretty big can, 440. And look at that, man. Pretty psychedelic round balls. Kind of weirdness on there. Think magic, drink magic. Very interesting all. And this beer does have wheat and oats in it, which is always a good sign for me. And if you look down here, tells you a little bit Willow Lane, Huddersfield. My dad used to go to university in Huddersfield. And we've even got a black top. Absolutely good stuff. And because this is a slightly bigger can, this one has been in the fridge, so I'm not worried about this one exploding. And weirdly, double dry hops or anything that's got a lot of dry hopping in, you don't usually have to worry about it having massive head, which is a strange property. I guess it's the hop oil, shall we say, does something. I have had some huge heads before, but yeah. Oh, I better. It's not that small, but about a finger, under a finger's head. Definitely. Anyway, let's do one of these bad boys. Chameleonic. Chamon. Oh, how are we going to do this? Bit there, something like that. Chamon. And my God, it smells very hoppy. I'm a very hoppy. Smells lovely and creamy too. For any type of style of beer, putting a little bit of wheat and a little bit of oat in. I know it's a style that people associate with kind of NEPAs and hazy beers like this bad boy here. But if you put it in porters and stouts, dark beers, it gives that lovely creaminess too, which I really like. I think it adds to the body and all that kind of stuff. So those Germans with their Reinheitsgebot, as we all know, the German purity laws, meaning you can't put anything in your beers. But people have been putting weird stuff in beers for years. But mainly with your lagers, they're restricted. Well, not these days, but they were restricted to the 4 key ingredients. But why not try, if you're a beer maker, or a brewer, I should say, putting a little pinch of wheat and oat in does make a difference. Right, cheers and beers. Let's have a sip of this first. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Wow, crazy hopping, loads of hop oils, lots of fruit, quite a lot of bitterness too. I was expecting it to be, like I said, a lot more creamy than this one potentially is. I was trying to see. It doesn't really say. It just says the actual ingredients list. It doesn't actually give you a list of what is actually in, what types of hops, should I say, is in this beer at all. I could probably look it up, but I've been lazy. I haven't been, haven't done my research so well. All I knew, this was a 6% double dry hopped beer, and it was, going to be a bit outrageous. Wow. Let me see if I can dial in. And it is pretty cold too. Let me see if I can dial in and give you some kind of flavors and things that's going on. I was actually pretty shocked at this one, but hey, 'tis a Friday evening, so I deserve a beer. So we've definitely got things from the tropical side of the spectrum, guavas, um, those type of fruits, um, tropical fruit, maybe a bit of pineapple kind of stuff. But then there's very resinous green, kind of grassy notes, I would say, potentially hedgerow, but giving a little bit of astringency because of the hops. Um, so gives the impression of a sort of chalky lime type thing going on in the background. Yeah, astringent lime, bitter lemon perhaps is a good way of describing that particular taste, which I'm getting right in the back end of this. Um, but yeah, full on hops. I did say it was quite bitter. Um, Perhaps the astringency is a better way of describing it. Like, you shouldn't do this, kids, but like when you lick a battery, you get that real sort of that alkaline kind of limey kind of thing going on. And look at that. I was going to say the other thing nearer the beginning actually that oats often gives a big tide line. We definitely have one. I don't know if you can see up the top here. There might be a little one that might have started things off at the beginning of this beer. Um, yeah, that sourness. Well, pardon me. That sourness is kind of throwing me off a little bit. And I like sour beers. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm not expecting it, it kind of makes me go, ooh. And I like my fruity sour beers. And unfortunately, this is definitely the fruit flavors coming from the hops, not coming from fruit itself. Um, so yeah, maybe not the beer for me. There is also a little bit of juiciness to this taste in a kind of juice, yeah, like a fruit juicy type thing going on. I do get that from Simcoe hops sometimes, but it's not up front, so I don't know if there's any Simcoe, it's very much in the background here. There's a lot of those light, whoa, a lot of light kind of fruits up, like almost like a grapefruity or a honeydew melon, um, which predominantly come from I would say, from the Australian side of things. Um, wow, yeah, I don't want to say Nelson Savon either. But there's definitely what I refer to them as high notes, so some sort of light notes, which give that, yeah, that light stuff, that grape, that honeydew melon, um, that type of thing, almost like wine skins. Um, oh, and I heard something very interesting on a podcast. So apparently, certain types of beer, certain types of IPA, are using wine skin, using grape skins um, in the beer to give uh, thiols, which is the new kind of buzzword. It's been around for a couple of years, but um, it gives precursors in your beer that the yeast then develop to give different flavor compounds, flavor profiles. They are present in hops as well, but by adding grape skins, um, the yeast does something. It's interactions thiols. It's the new buzzword. You will definitely see those. I think I saw. I haven't actually opened my new Beer 52 box. It has arrived, but for various things that happened in the homestead, I haven't actually got around to doing that video. But I think there is a thiol beer within that. Yeah, there are a few around, but there you go. But boom, line, very, very small line. Boom. Really nice to see. I do like the suds, as they kind of call it, the head. That's the thing about drinking beer and getting into beer, is there are so many different varieties, and some people like sticking to the same varieties over and over and over. Um, I like drinking different varieties, as many different beers as I can. If I find a really good one, I'll remember what it is, and I keep going back to my staple collection, shall we say, um, and also ease of getting hold of beer too. Um, a lot of people these days have been taking the mick out of Guinness. I love Guinness, and you can get it in every kind of bar, not just craft beers bars, not just camera real ale bars. You more or less can get Guinness anywhere you like. Um, so it's a good staple if you like Guinness. If you don't like Guinness, hey, don't worry about it. I like Guinness. Oh, yeah, a bit chalky on the finish. If I had to guess, I would probably say there's some sort of mosaic or mosaic variant. Look at that stuff. Absolutely lovely to see that on a beer glass even. Um, there we go. Chameleonic or Chameleonic. It's not going to focus on there. By Magic Rock. Magic Rock, quite a good brewery. I quite like their saucer. Is it sorcery? But spelt like a saucer, a tea saucer, which I believe, if I remember rightly, maybe I'm getting it confused, but I think that's their dark beer. I think it's an oatmeal stout actually, but it's lovely stuff. But this one, not really my style. I mean, I do like double dry hop beers. Um, the hops used were a bit too sour from a hop point of view for me, a bit too lemony. But I would have one of those again for the right price. Why not? Anyway, guys, we're into the weekend now. Make sure you enjoy some beers and come back and visit Unclejona because there's plenty more beers to drink and we'll be drinking some real soon.